Hi, I am Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks.
Welcome to Season 5 of Stages Podcast,
where we go behind the scenes and beyond the resume.
Join us as we talk to some of the greatest talents from theater, TV, film, and more. And then check out stagespodcast.net for past episodes, merch, and so much more.
And love where you are now. There is so much to discover every day at the Museum of Broadway. Come explore 3 floors of dazzling costumes and props from your all-time favorite shows like Hamilton, The Phantom of the Opera, Rent, Wicked, and many more. It's the only place that you can get up close with Broadway's history from 1732 to the present day and learn how a show is made from Broadway's biggest icons. It's perfect for all ages. The Museum of Broadway is a front row seat and a backstage pass all in one. Visit themuseumofbroadway.com for tickets today. Hello, my friends. I want to tell you about this amazing initiative brought to you by The Outsiders Musical. It is called the Stay Gold Project. The Outsiders Musical, winner of the 2024 Tony Award for Best Musical, is committed to honoring young voices through the Stay Gold Project. It's an educational initiative inspired by this story that was written by a teenager about teenagers. With the lead grant from the legendary notebook maker Moleskine, this project includes free education resources, a youth ambassador council, and underwritten ticket access at no cost to young people. The Stay Gold Project is presented in partnership with the New York City Public Schools. If you'd like to learn more about the Stay Gold Project or to donate, go to outsidersmusical.com/stay-gold. That's outsidersmusical.com/stay-gold.
My friend, stay gold. My friend, stay gold.
It's the actor's nightmare, right? So, it plays right in. And I'm wearing a negligee.
I see that.
A black
marabou.
A black marabou negligee.
I would also guess with this background, you're on a very bougie cruise ship, but I know you're not. But look at this.
It's just my home, which, could be a boozy cruise ship.
Give me that shrimp cocktail, honey.
I feel like
Give me
we
that
all
shrimp
need to be
cocktail.
in feathers right now. What is
Yes.
that?
I don't have
I
it.
mean, come on.
Can I say this? I
Please.
still have Liza Minnelli's boa. So the very first club act I ever did, it's when I was doing Boy from Oz. Jim Caruso is a dear friend of Liza Minnelli's. He's like,
Yes, of course.
I'm going to ask her to borrow the red boa for your show. And I said, oh, you do that. And he arrives to the club. So it's Birdland. He
Yes.
arrives to the club with this very unglamorous white, like Glad trash bag that you unzip, and out comes this fluffy thing. She's not molting or anything, but it is from the 1970 something Palace show, Liza with a Z.
Whoa.
And I put it on and I changed, guys. And will I say, never gave it back. Never gave it back.
and nor should you. You never give that back, and it transforms you, doesn't it? It transforms you.
Yeah. I'm
We
taking
all
you
should
don't
have worn boas today. I'm really upset. Today's guest has done it all. You might know him from his brilliant comedic turns in films like Sweet Home Alabama, Hitch, Theater Camp, and the Zoolander movies. Or you might recognize him from one of his many television appearances in shows like The Comeback, Scrubs, LA to Vegas, Absolutely Fabulous, Woke, and so many more. On Broadway, he performed in the Tony-nominated Wild Party and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Off-Broadway, he appeared in Titanic. He received a Lucille Lortel Award nomination for his work in the musical The View Upstairs, a Drama League Award nomination for his work in Wig Out, and he won the Irene Award for his performance in The Colored Museum. And just 3 weeks ago, he won an Obie Award for his work in Sarah Ruhl's production of Orlando at the Signature Theater. As if that wasn't enough, in 2005, he won the Best Classical Album Grammy Award for Songs of Innocence and of Experience. And in just a few weeks, he's back on TV in Hulu's new series called Mid-Century Modern, starring alongside Nathan Lane, Matt Bomer, and the late Linda Lavin. Please welcome Nathan Lee Graham.
Nathan Lee Graham to stage, please. Nathan, can we have you to stage?
Oh my God, all the accolades, all the
You may know
accolades.
him for his skincare regime where you don't see one pore,
And
not
his
one
boas,
freaking pore.
his fashion sense.
Well, the skin is about the monkey glands. I have lots of little howler monkeys running around my apartment, and little IVs dripping from
We
their
are
veins.
not beauty influencers, but I kind of do need to know. Do you have like a regime that happens nightly? Are you a facial guru? Like, talk to us.
Well, I do take care of my skin,
Yeah.
and so there's that. I exfoliate, I moisturize. I'm a big proponent of serums.
Oh.
So I love a serum, and
An
I think
emollient, if
a
you will.
brilliant serum. And I think a nice, very mild exfoliant is good for the skin. It works for me because I have to shave every day.
Uh-huh.
Do you castor oil?
I don't castor oil, but I olive oil.
Me
Oh,
too.
My grandmother olive
Believe
oiled
in it.
and
Yes.
castor oiled. Yeah, I do too.
Believe
I use
in it.
castor oil on my skin.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's it. And some
And
other
then
little oils.
and then I have great feet, but I won't be showing those anytime soon. uh, but I do olive oil on the feet with socks, which is probably why I'm single.
But your roasted potatoes have that seasoning.
Yes, the rosemary, darling, the rosemary.
Can we talk a little about the amazing women that you have had in your life, like Linda Lavin and Eartha Kitt?
Listen, the list is very long, actually. I really celebrate the powerful women that have been a part of my life throughout my entire career. You spoke of Linda Lavin, of course, who is the spiritual showrunner of Mid-Century Modern, as far as I'm concerned. She's guiding the whole thing. My long mentor, Eartha Kitt, but also you can throw in people like Lisa Kudrow, Reese Witherspoon, Candice Bergen, Mary Kay Place. All of these amazing women that I've worked with and had a chance to get to know when I worked with them, because I'm a big listener.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Oh, I
proponent
love that.
of listening and, letting people say what they have to say, and then sort of, soaking that all in. And the list goes on even beyond that, right? So the one thing that they've all had in common, working with Stritch, working with Cloris Leachman, working with, is that they were all singular. They're all singular,
As
right?
are you. As
Well,
are you.
Thank you.
So
for
do you think
that.
you recognize that in each other?
I think so. I think it's an intrinsic thing. I think there's a mother wit there. I think there's a third eye thing going. For people who freak out about that, look it up, Google it. There's something intrinsic that goes on with that. There's a sort of kinesthetic awareness with people who are in sync, and an unspoken word. With Mid-Century Modern, all of us have theater backgrounds, so the immediacy of our love for each other,
Yes,
and our vulnerability for each other happens so fast, because it has to happen fast when you're doing stage work. There's no time for pretense. It's like we got to get in there and we got to get to it, get to the juice right away, whatever it is. And so that is a through line with all of these amazing, powerful women that I've had the pleasure and honor of working with. They're also very supportive, because and I don't want to exclude men in this, but I will say that consistently, when I work with women, it's about the actual project itself, the end result, the teamwork, coming together to make whatever the project is.
And isn't that something when people can put the ego aside
Oh,
and
you
just do the
have,
work?
yeah,
And then everybody thrives in that
Yes.
environment.
that
And
just
it
not
is
stays
one-
afloat.
No
and
one's
that's right.
one-upping each other.
That's
You're
right.
working
No.
as a team.
That's right.
And when I throw a ball, someone's going to catch it.
Yeah.
And when I drop a ball, someone's going to pick it up.
Yeah.
And so that's what I find. If we want to talk about nurture, if we want to talk about support, that's what I find with working with amazing women. That has been so rewarding for me.
Were you nurtured by amazing women too? Was your mother a
yes.
singular spirit?
My mother is a singular spirit. My grandmother was. The two of them specifically were the impetus for me being in the business at all.
Tell me.
Well, because they saw something in the gay little boy. They saw something, my mother called it different. You know,
Mhm.
you were different back in the 80s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was the code word then. And, you know, because of that, I'm going to put you in all of these programs that you're really good at. And my mother's also very practical. So she was like, oh, you're good at this.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother says, you're good at this. So we're actually going to support you.
So it's
And-
more about keeping your self-esteem intact,
Yes.
so that you can continue to grow.
And
Yeah.
thrive,
Yeah.
right? And not just make it through with all of the, you know, name calling and all of this sort of thing that would
And
happen.
I would think in Missouri at that time, it was really challenging because Steph and I met in Missouri in Branson in
Yes.
the early 90s. And
Okay,
even-
listeners, Nathan's eyes just went from like the size of dimes to the size of quarters.
Like,
we
what?
said
Branson.
Branson.
We were in a show. That's where we met in Branson,
Yes.
Missouri.
With
and-
Andy Williams.
Yes.
Ah.
And even then, in the early 90s, it was not a welcoming place for Black people and gay people.
Anybody who was air quotes different.
Anybody
it
who
didn't
was,
matter.
different. And
Yeah.
so growing up there in that time period, in the 70s and 80s, it must have been really challenging.
Well, also because my parents got divorced when I was 7. And so I was between St. Louis and LA constantly.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So you can imagine, you know, me going to school in St. Louis, and then as soon as
being
school
thrust
ended,
into LA.
and then the day before school starts, I'm coming from LA with all of the LA energy,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
you know, the new school clothes for the kids, right? Well, all of my stuff was from Los Angeles.
Yeah, you're
So,
wearing
you know,
Z Cavaricis.
Yeah,
what are
you
these
know,
people wearing?
and
Los
they're like,
Angeles.
wow, not only are you a Martian, but you're a Martian with, you know,
Fashion
with
sense.
fashion
feathers.
sense. Marabou! So, you know, it's like, you know, I couldn't win, right? And I
Yeah.
carried a satchel or something that looked like a briefcase always, even in grade school, because I was always in some sort of extracurricular program, right? I was
Mm.
always in an arts program. So I had scripts, I had scores, I had, you know, and then my regular schoolwork. So I had no chance of not
Yeah.
being, you know, taunted or teased. But because of the supportive, incredible women in my life, and my grandfather too, I must say, you know, I made it through. And I was lucky. I was one of the lucky ones who was never beat up or, you know, anything like that. But certainly, you know, traumatized by all of the, you know, name calling and teasing. But I was always sort of protected, you know, maybe even overly protected, I might say.
Mm.
But I do have something lovely to say, which I was going to say to the end of the podcast, but I'll mention it again because we're talking about powerful women. My grandmother, on her deathbed in 2011, I was doing Priscilla, and I was flying home. I was flying to St. Louis on my days off. We had Thursdays off. So I would fly Thursday morning to the hospital. I would sit with her and spend the night with her and then fly back and do the show Friday morning. And this happened, I guess, 3 times towards the end. The very last thing she said to me, she grabbed my hand very tightly, and she was always very strong. And she really just, you know, died of cancer, but it wasn't some sort of painful thing. It just, like Linda, happened suddenly, and then she was gone. She grabbed my hand and she looked me in the eye just before I was about to go back to Priscilla that morning. And she said, outlast them.
Ooh.
Outlast outlast them. And I want to say that for everything and everything we're going through right now. You know, it's a metaphor for everything. You know, it's not just about, it's about whatever that phrase makes you think in a positive way, and however you need to lean into and dig into the positive things that make you keep running, but to outlast them. And
Don't let it
them
break
could
your
mean,
spirit.
yes,
You just keep going and
yes,
be
keep
you
going.
no matter what.
Yes,
Yeah.
whatever that authentic thing is, whatever it brings you joy, whatever sort of nurturing thing that you were doing. We like to use the phrase now, post-COVID, pre-COVID, whatever. But now it's, you know, so you have to keep doing those things, right? And you have to outlast them. And I've seen people come and people go. I've seen careers come and go. I've seen administrations come and go. I've seen, you know, we've all seen these things. So it's like you have to outlast them. And that means doing whatever you're doing in a positive, nurturing way, not something that's going to damage you or put you in jail.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
So what feeds you? What feeds you and your endurance to keep on going, even in the times that are lean? What feeds your longevity and your endurance to outlast?
Well, sometimes it comes in different ways, right? Sometimes it comes in something I look at, something that I see, a letter I get from a young person in the country that says, I saw you today on television and it made me feel like I mattered or I belonged, and it just helped me get through the day. And that's one more day, right? I always say one scene at a time. It's those little things that get me through. Storytelling, whether my job is to make someone laugh or cry or just be inquisitive about something. Love when I'm doing that. Love when I can find out that I'm doing that. That keeps me going. The unexpected sock in the arm on the streets of New York. Yes, one lady between 41st and 40th Streets on 8th Avenue, right in front of the Port Authority.
I can picture it.
Yes, socked me in the arm. Yes, she did. And said to me, whilst we were standing in the middle of the intersection, I thought you wouldn't stop. And I just wanted to, I said, sweetheart, since we are stopped, could we move to the corner and not get hit?
Do you see that pile of pigeons over there? Let's move toward the pigeons.
Let's move towards that. Just follow the piss. And so we moved over, and she said, I love you so much in did she say Hitch or Sweet Home Alabama? I forget.
How old was she? And I'll tell you. I bet you it was Sweet Home Alabama.
I think it was Sweet Home. And she said, and I just didn't think you would stop. And I just wanted to say how much I loved you in that, and how much I love that. And I watch it once a week. And I just thought you wouldn't stop. I said, well, I've stopped. And I'm so pleased that you enjoy the film. Continue to enjoy the film and take care of yourself and be well. Yeah. And after she left, I went, ow, you know. But after that, it just made me feel like
I cried a little.
You know, those kind of things.
Mel Robbins, you know that that woman. She has a new thing out right now, and her phrase is "Let them."
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
let them.
Yes, I've heard it.
I like your grandmother's better.
Yeah,
outlast them.
Yeah, because here's the thing: if you are so focused on what you're doing, you are outlasting. Yeah. You know, because you're so
centered.
You know, so centered. I was speaking with my dad the other day. He said, well, what are we supposed to do? Be miserable until a miserable thing happens? And, you know, he was just being flippant, but there was some poetry in that. He's like, no, you have to continue to live your life, not oblivious, not in denial. You have to live your life, right? And because we're not promised the next scene, live this scene to the fullest. Yeah. I mean, I know it sounds airy-fairy, but it's, you know, it keeps me going.
No, it's not airy-fairy. It's totally the truth. I think we've become a country of trauma mongers, is what I love to call them. Like, we're trauma glommers. If there's something wrong, we glom on and we obsess. And look, I'm guilty of it too, but we also, like, there's no news on in my house. If I'm in the room, the news is not on. Like, if there's something important, I will learn about it. But
because we have a tendency
keep invading my spirit, I start to ruminate, and then
commiserating is one thing.
Bad, seem bad.
Commiserating is one thing. But then when you sit in the muck for too long,
Yeah.
even, I will even say this, everybody, even when you go see your therapist and you keep regurgitating all of the things that are dark, wrong, troubled, heavy, I would invite you to, once you can cleanse yourself of that, move on a little bit, because it really is, I think, part of our human instinct is to sit in the muck. It's
Yeah.
actually the power and the joy and the healing of it is to try to start to get out
Out of the
of
muck.
that muck. Because
You
if
got
you
to keep
just
going
sit,
through.
if you keep sitting in it, they're just collecting your check every week to sit in the muck. So keep
Right.
moving forward.
You have to
Find the
keep
way
moving
out.
forward.
Yeah.
The universe has motion, right?
That's right.
And it wants to always right itself, because balance, well, nature has to have balance. And
Yes.
so it can't be all of this without a little bit of that. And so it will right itself. But the only way the human can be a part of that is to keep moving.
That's
To
right.
keep
Well, it's
moving
like when
through.
Gavin Creel came on, he read us a poem. Everything is both.
Yes.
Everything is both.
It's
It's
both.
beautiful and it's terrible, and it's loving and it's trying. You know,
Hilarious
it's
and
everything-
sad. They're
yeah,
both.
Everything is
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you know, we are artists, and I know that we are the center of the world, because it's the comedy and
Absolutely.
tragedy. I mean, come on. Everything runs because of us. So what are you going
If
to do?
only. If we did rule the world, it would be a lot better place. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I won't say what I was just about to say, but because I don't want to go into that. I was reminiscing about the last time I played the Kennedy Center, and it was so fun. So we can leave it at that.
Uh-huh. And it will be again. It will be again.
It will be again. Foggy bottoms.
That's right.
And we will be right back. Hey, listeners. We've done a little bit of research here at Stages Podcast, and we found out that a lot of you who are listening are not actually subscribed to the podcast. So I want you to take a second, and I want you, wherever you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, look down and hit that follow button for us. It helps us more than you know. And if you're feeling really generous, go ahead and leave us a review. That helps too.
We like to joke that we're
Yes.
mid-century moderns, right? We're
I
like,
definitely am. I definitely am. Hello.
hello, menopause. But tell us about the set. Tell us how the job, not even the job, the joy came to you. We
And-
love Jimmy Burrows. He's
Yeah,
been
Jimmy
on
Burrows.
the pod. I want to talk about him,
The Godfather.
his legacy, his pedigree,
Unbelievable.
his realness. So that's a lot of questions, but jump in.
Yeah, just tell us all about it.
First of all, when I think of Jimmy Burrows, the godfather of television, of just modern television, period.
Yeah.
Definitely of multicam, definitely of sitcom. The first thing I can remember him saying on the set was, "Two Nathans. I've never worked with two Nathans before. Two Nathans. Let's see. Nathan Lee, Nathan Lay. Okay, so we're going to do Nathan Lee and just Nathan." I love that so much because, he's such a wonder. And you know what he's feeling, actually. I mean, a lot of people will say, I can't read him, or, when we're working together. I so know, because he's just there with you the whole time, and doesn't miss a beat, and is so supportive in his own special way. And because of that, my trust factor for Mr. Burrows it's absolute. I just trust him, with everything. And when we're there on that set working, and I cannot tell you what a joy it's been to do this show. Everyone's so good at their jobs. Everyone, cast, crew, the whole bit. So loving, so supportive. We play right away. It's been a great learning curve for me, because multicam is very difficult, because you have the studio audience there. And so there's this performative thing that happens along with doing the actual performance, because they're seeing the sausage being made, which I'm not accustomed to, especially doing stage in lots of single cam. So I'm not accustomed to people not seeing my work being finished and polished and perfect. So me flubbing, which is inevitable, especially when you just get a line before you start, which happens all the time in multicam with these brilliant, brilliant writers. It's like, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be open to this experience. And I'm also going to be performative enough to let the audience know in the same time, this is not upsetting me. This is a part of it. And you get to see it. And isn't this a magical thing? So that was a big, huge learning curve that I had to learn right away because, you know, I'm such a stickler and a Virgo of getting things right, and, you know, but in this particular instance, they're seeing me do the work, right? And so, and finding the joke and all of that sort of thing. So it's very, very interesting, very rewarding, and very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Do you find that because I think there would be an internal dialogue with me going, do I present this work to our live studio audience and let that energy go that far? Or do you let it stop at the camera? How do you navigate how far the performance actually goes? Or do you just release yourself of all that BS and just do your show?
I think eventually you just do your show because the writers are so in sync with who your character is. And over the period of the week that you get to adjust to this new episode, you land, you sort of fall in, you sort of become one with that episode and what your character is doing within it. And so you just go to this trust place, right? That we've got the dialogue down, and you just sort of lean in and you go, oh, yep, there's Arthur. Yep, that's what he would say. That's how he would say it. I'm also listening to my fellow colleagues, of course, and we are playing with each other. So it's a huge, huge trust exercise to just allow it to be. And it's like, you're not playing for the laugh, obviously, because that never works.
No.
Hello, world out there. That never works. But if the situation is set up properly and you're listening, and you get to this place together with your other colleagues, your fellow actors, it usually lands, right? And what happens with a studio audience is that they will pick up on something that you have no idea about, because in a multicam, you're getting to see every angle, every expression.
Right. So they may notice something that perhaps you didn't even, because they directed or focused in on that.
Exactly. And so, and a lot of times what's happening with, in particular for me, is that I'm thinking a line, well, is not particularly funny. Not the written line. I'm thinking the written line is great. I'm just not delivering it the way that I think I should. But what I'm missing out on or not anticipating is that the line that goes up after mine, it's my expression to that line. It's my response to that line. It's my reaction to that line that actually gets the laugh. And so I can sit in my B. Arthur face and the laugh just goes on and on and on and on and on, because I've allowed the audience to watch and to pick up, and then the brilliance of Mr. Burroughs catching it, you know, it all works in sort of concert. And that's what's really lovely about that. The unexpected sort of things. And that only happens if you're actually listening. You know, because you allow the space to happen. And then, of course, if they're laughing, you can't go on. You have to hold. So there's something, yes, definitely mechanical about it. But once your brain clicks into, this is the world in which you live in, then it becomes the unnatural becomes very natural. If that makes any sense.
Let go of the control of it, and you allow the flow to just carry it. And you know you're being led by brilliant people.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Have you worked with Nathan Lane and Matt Bomer before?
No.
Can I ask a question for us and the listeners? Tell our fellow actors what their character names are and kind of an idea or backstory. Tell us a little bit about the form of the show and the players within the show.
Well, of course, the wonderful Nathan Lane plays Bunny Schneiderman, and the wonderful Matt Bomer plays Jerry. What's Jerry's last name? Oh my God, it's just
Sexy hot pants.
sexy
Does that
hot
fit?
pants. Jerry is a wonderful flight attendant, and Bunny owns this wonderful brassiere bra company. Very bells are ringing. Um, uh, and then, of course, Arthur Broussard is a fashion editor from New York. And so our friend George has passed away. We were a foursome. We come to his funeral in Palm Springs, where uh, Nathan Lane Bunny lives with his adorable acerbic mother, Sybil Schneiderman, played by the wonderful Linda Lavin. And, mayhem ensues. We decide, we're getting older.
Mhm.
We're all different ages, but we're growing older and we're single. Hey, why not try this experiment of moving in together? Jerry is not particularly happy living in Atlanta, and I have had a bit of a falling out with Anna Wintour. So why not? Why not all of us, try this experiment of moving in together?
Be the Golden Girls, if you
Be the
will.
Golden Girls,
Yeah.
And in that way, it is similar to the Golden Girls with that sort of concept. And then, just these wonderful situations happen with the history of our relationship and how it plays out. The new experiences of being together in a home, a palatial home, based upon who's that wonderful Dinah Shore. Dinah Shore's home is sort of modeled after Donald Shore's home in Palm Springs, and with a lovely sunken living room. I love anything sunken, and 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 you just have these wonderful situation comedy things happening with these three men who are, seasoned in their own ways. And bringing their life experiences together and really being supportive of each other. Yeah. And the wonderful guest stars that we have, and
Anna Wintour.
And, well,
she wouldn't be dead in Palm Springs. But I'm thinking, like,
I did do a movie with her, though.
You did? Oh, of course you did.
Zoolander too. Yeah.
Yes, of course you did. But I'm thinking like Lucy Arnaz needs to make an appearance, or Bob Mackie. These are people who actually live in Palm Springs.
Listen,
Old Hollywood is still out there, y'all. This is their mecca.
And all the things will be happening. That's all I have to tell you. It's so fun. It's so infectious. Everyone's going to binge watch it several times.
Yeah.
There's so many memes already.
Oh, that's so fun. You've made it when there's a host of memes about you.
And it's just one of the, when you have these amazing writers, when you have a Max Muchnick and a David Cohen, and just, the creators of Will and Grace, and then you are, sort of with the chef's kiss with Ryan Murphy, anointing a show. You just have all these wonderful people who are working in concert. And, television is a writer's medium, and we have the best. I mean, the best writers, and living through fires and all of these things that we went through shooting, and coming in and knocking it out of the park when people's own personal lives were, in peril. This is and not to mention, the passing of Linda. It's just, it's a remarkable thing that we came up with something so special and so beautiful and so gosh darn funny. Yeah. You're just gonna love it. You're just gonna freaking love it.
And how amazing that she worked right up until the final days of her life.
Blazing to the end, like a comet, I tell you. She really did, and it does not get past me that her last scenes, her last words in her last scenes were with me.
Unbelievable, so, Nathan.
I just, when I think of her, the overwhelming feeling is just joy and gratitude, because that's who she was. And she was such, excuse the expression if anyone gets offended, but I really mean this in the most positive way. She was such a broad.
Oh, totally a broad.
Yeah,
I mean,
and she literally worked from the age of 5 to the age of 87, literally.
Yeah.
Um,
Standing
and
at what, 5'3", 5'4"?
yes,
Yeah.
maybe.
But
And
man,
a
she was on
powerhouse.
fire and she could be in any circle of people and speak to what they were
Yep,
speaking on, have a big, bold opinion about
yep.
it, but just smart, smart, smart.
Smart,
Yep.
smart, smart. And forced me to go out with her outside of the show. We all hang out outside of the show. We actually call and text each other. We actually like each other.
Love it.
And so I was so glad that I did those things with her. You
Yeah.
know, one of the last things we did together was, after the election, the night after that, we actually shot a show on election night, which was very
Oof.
difficult to do. And you saw the mood swing and all of that sort of thing in the audience. And then, and the very next day, she was to do a Jim Caruso cast party at the Catalina Jazz Club in Hollywood, and with Billy Stritch.
Yeah.
And so she asked me to go because she was going to sing. She was going to do a little Rogers and Hart. And I said, I don't know, Linda. I don't really know. I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's just when you should go. So she forced me to go with she and her husband Steve, and it was the best night. And it was a lovely night. And she got up and sang "There's a Small Hotel," one of my favorite Rogers and Hart songs. And then she goes, "Nathan, you have to sing." And I said, "Oh no, I am not singing. I am not singing." And then Jim Caruso says, "I think Nathan Lee Graham is in the house." Billy was like, "Hey, I'm ready to play for you." So, okay.
No pressure.
No pressure. I'm looking through my phone. I'm like, what chart do I have on this phone that I can pull up, And so I got up and I sang. And
What did you sing?
I sang Moon River,
Oh,
one of my
beautiful.
favorite songs. Speaking of Branson. And
Table Rock Lake, baby. That's the river they're looking at.
So I sang, and it went very well, and everyone was very, very kind. And I came back to the table, and I could see as I was coming back from the table that Linda was recording the whole thing on her phone. And I sat down, and she goes, "Oh, fuck, you can do that too." So, we might have to bleep that out, but whatever.
No.
She was just so supportive, right?
Yeah,
And then she stared at me for the rest of the evening. She just stared at me.
Because you had shown a different side of yourself.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is this magnificent creature that has a whole other dimension I didn't know about? Yeah.
And so supportive, so incredibly talented. Like, just always there, always present. So anyway, the show, Mid-Century Modern, is full of these wonderful people that are at the top of their powers. It's written so well. There's so much joy in it. And it's so heartwarming as well. It's just a good show. It's a good old show that people are going to really love.
When
And
10
I can't wait.
episodes to start, yeah?
10
right
episodes,
after
which is,
that?
I think, apparently a lot for Hulu. So all 10 episodes will drop on Friday, March 28th.
Oh, I can't wait.
And it's very exciting,
And deserved.
Thanks.
Can I ask you a little about your spiritual practice? Are you comfortable
Sure.
talking about that? I know you talked about your third eye, which
Yes.
I mean, I talk about the chakras all the time. Steph and I
Yes.
are always going woo-woo on this show. But I want to hear about what is your practice? How do you stay so centered? Because you are very centered. What do you come to when life starts to feel, when you have to get to the point where you, what did your grandmother say? Ride them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outlast
Outlast them.
Outlast them. That's it.
Well, there's a lot of breathing involved. I know we take breathing for granted, but there is something to be said to, counting to 10, 1,000, 2, 1,000. And quite often throughout the day, and I'll do it again probably 4 or 5 times today, I'll ask myself, in the middle of walking through my apartment or going to the bathroom or, maybe getting a glass of water, I will say, where are you? Where are you? Where am I? Where am I? And it's a checkpoint. It's a checkpoint, Charlie, for me. And sometimes I'll use my thumb I'll use my thumb between my 2 eyeballs. And what I mean is When you're dancing and you're doing pirouettes, sometimes to steady yourself from being dizzy, you'll put your thumb up between your two eyes.
Oh, I see.
out
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
Yes. And that centers you. And so I sort of do that too when I ask myself, Nathan, where are you? Where are you? When I'm sort of spinning psychologically. You know, like, okay, there's a lot going. Nathan, where are you? And I'll stop. I'll put my thumb up. I'll look at it. And just the act of doing that brings me back to one, or brings me back to myself for a moment. That's something I do regularly all the time. I might look like a crazy person on the streets of New York doing it, but I literally will move over to the side. Do not walk in the center of the sidewalk, people.
No,
I'll move
it's
over
never
to
going
the
to
side.
work for you.
And, just sort of recenter myself. I spend lots of time being very quiet. The television usually doesn't come on in my apartment until maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's an indication of what does come on immediately when I wake up is a thank you to the universe.
That's the first thing you do. You
yes.
wake up and say thank you.
Yes, just because I think that that's appropriate, especially when all the limbs are working and,
And you woke up.
And it woke up, and I don't take any of that for granted. So that's true talk there. And then classical music goes on right away, blaring throughout the apartment, and that's sort of my backdrop. And then there's lots of meditation for me. It comes in different forms. Sometimes it's more intense than others. Sometimes I have to go somewhere like Canyon Ranch or something to make it happen, to make it so, to sort of reconnect. I am a big proponent of checking what I'm putting into my body if I'm spinning a little bit. I notice when I have too much sugar in my system that it kind of throws me off, which goes into a mental place when you're physically not. I like to focus on the gut a lot because I think the brain down there gets neglected, and it does really change the way you feel when your gut is in alignment.
Yeah, because your gut is your second brain, so you have to feed it so it can feed your first
exactly. Brain. And I feel like as an artist, it's your first brain. So it's like if you don't feel well, you can't do your best work. And even when I speak at schools and stuff like that, in master classes, I always start off with the word health, which is never talked about, or rarely talked about. I said, you guys, if you don't take care of yourselves, your facility, which is your body, you're not going to be accessible to doing your best work. You'll get it out. You'll grunt it out. You'll grind it out. But what if you could be your healthiest self, whatever that means for you? Because I'm not going to prescribe anything to anyone that, doesn't make you feel good. But there are some basics, and if you feel good, you're going to do your best work. If you can get yourself to a place where the people who support you allow you to do your best work as well. I don't have a lot of toxicity around me. So I find that people who are not supportive of me, and that doesn't mean people who lie to me. Those are two different things. I don't need you to blow smoke up my ass. I just need you to be supportive of me as I am to you and kind. Those are the people that I have around me, right? Yeah. And there are a lot of people who would like to be around me, but they don't get close. They don't get to be intimate.
Andre DeShields in an acceptance speech says, surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when they see you coming. And that has been my motto since the day I heard him say it. And if your eyes don't light up, it's okay. I don't have to be your cup of tea, but you don't get to come around because you don't light up.
No. And I will say, the more aware you are, the less fear you have. So
that's right.
When you are aware of things like something good happens for you, and then all of a sudden there's some entity or some energy in a person that all of a sudden manifests themselves, you're like, oh, I haven't spoken to this naysayer in a while. You needed to keep not speaking to them.
It's
It's like you
interesting though.
don't pour any energy into that, but there is something to be said of not having those people play any sort of part of your life that is going to negatively affect you. Now, one more thing on that.
Yeah.
Triggers never change. Triggers, hear me, triggers never change, but your response to them should and can.
Mm-hmm.
So the amount of time you spend on the trigger, how you interpret the trigger, should change. I believe Felicia Rashad told me that once, and it's so true. And you don't have to feel negative about noticing the trigger because you're aware.
Right.
So
this is
that's
what
even,
yes,
that's even a positive thing.
Right.
Right.
The beauty and the power of what you're saying is the awareness is always there. The sugar I put into my body makes me feel.
Yes.
This person that I've let re-enter my life, this is now what has happened. It's the beauty of paying attention and
Yes.
being aware that is a spiritual practice.
It really is.
Centering. It is that third eye. And instead of just going through the motions, just taking stock.
And it's very empowering when you really do practice that in your life. I've recently had a situation where in my family, which is always the hardest, right?
Yes,
because
of
it's hard
course.
to put up those boundaries because they've been crossed ever since you were a kid. So
right.
But I recently put up this boundary, and I was so firm in my response. And I just said, I know me. So I don't care what you're thinking of me in this moment. I know me, and I'm okay with that. So whatever your opinion is of me in this moment, it really doesn't matter. I let you go with love.
That's right.
I hope you're good.
But
you don't get access to me anymore, ever.
Because if you tell your truth and you tell it kindly, the way it's received is none of your business.
None of your business.
None of your business.
Right.
Mourning the loss of a person that you've known for a long time, but that has not actually been a friend. Is, because the two are not mutually exclusive, right? Oh, I've known him for years. Yeah, but.
And in our, well, I guess in any industry,
are
you a real friend or are you a deal friend?
And as long as
I know the difference, I'm okay with either one. But are you getting something from me in order to help an agenda or a project and I'm totally
how
okay
transactional
with that.
is all of this?
I just need to know.
Yes. Someone you bump into on the, I love the bump into friends. I've been bumping into you for years, but
at least they're not punching you.
Yes, at least they're not punching me in the arm. But I'm not going to invite you back to my home. You're not going to you can't come into the inner sanctum. Yeah. And that's another thing. I don't invite anyone into my home that has, a negative spirit. They won't cross my threshold ever. I don't allow it. I just don't allow it.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with the 5 questions.
Let's be honest, life's too busy to sit down with a book sometimes. That's why Amazon Music Unlimited now lets you listen to one audiobook from Audible each month. Listen while you commute, work out, or tackle that pile of dishes. Any book, any genre, your choice. Transform your daily routine into quality reading time. Download the Amazon Music app and turn your next chapter into an audio adventure.
What is the greatest lesson your mother ever taught you? We heard your grandmother's.
Yes. Well, I'll say to you what she always says to me: keep it moving. Mm-hmm. That's the greatest lesson.
Very in alignment with what we're talking about here.
She always says it. That she doesn't say goodbye. She goes, keep it moving.
Oh, okay. If your life was a book, what's the name of this chapter right now?
Changing clothes.
Okay, this is going to be an impossible one for you, but if we walked into your closet right now, what is one item of clothing or a piece of jewelry or something that you will never let go of because of the value that it keeps in your heart?
Steve, Linda Lavin's husband, gave me a brooch that she wanted me to have. Oh. And it's a emerald green brooch lined in a gold leaf, and I will never ever part with that.
Oh, so beautiful. We know what you put in your belly is important, but describe your favorite sandwich.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it has to be something. Well, I love a panini.
Oh, yes.
Who doesn't?
I love a panini. I don't eat red meat, so I prefer it with, turkey
Yeah.
and some sort of wonderful cheese if I can
Okay.
have it, if I'm not singing. Um, and maybe some sort of peppers or something on that. So I love a panini. It's all together,
Mhm.
I don't
Warm
like
and
it.
gooey.
Yes, warm and
Mm.
gooey. That's my favorite sort of sandwich, a
Mm.
lovely panini.
Okay.
All right. If you were a nail polish color,
Yes.
what color would you be, and what would the cheeky little name be?
Okay, so I I do get my a pedicure and a manicure regularly, and my nails are always with a clear because my natural nail color is this sort of pinkish thing that people want to buy in a store,
Mhm.
So I love
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And then my toenails are always painted black.
Oh.
They're always painted black because I used to dance barefoot, or I danced barefoot in a production of Once in This Island, and it ruined my feet. So so it's like, oh, I used to have such beautiful
Who were you
toes.
in Once on This Island?
Papa Gay.
Papa Gay.
Oh,
Yes.
I
Um,
love that show.
Such a good show. So I guess, oh my God, I guess it would have to be something with the,
Would it be Papa Gay?
why not?
Why not?
Yes, I think so.
And then a little,
The sly demon of death.
that's right.
Yes.
And you get a little side of a little teeny bottle of olive oil too, just to put on those
Yes.
feet at night.
Yes, and moisturize those hooves. I think that the nickname would be Papa Gay.
Papa Gay.
And you can, that can be anything for anybody.
That's right.
You are such a joy.
Oh, such a joy.
Blessings, blessings. I hope your show is just a massive hit.
It's
and
gonna
runs
be.
forever, 'cause
It's
I can't
gonna
wait
be.
to see it.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
gonna
how
be.
I don't know how it can't be. It'd be
Well,
amazing.
listen, from your lips, right? From your lips.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. Please carry on with this wonderful podcast. I've listened to other ones, and it's just always something to learn. And you both are wonderful. So just please continue on in that spirit and keep making people feel good and
Keep moving forward.
keep moving.
Yeah.
Keep it moving and outlast them.
Mhm.
And we'll do it together.
All right. God
You're the
bless you,
best.
beautiful. Yes, beautiful human.
All right,
See you
be
later.
well. Love you both. Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Coming up next, what struck a chord?
And
I should have
zhuzhed
zhuzhed a little more, knowing how zhuzhy he is.
Oh my gosh.
He's so zhuzhy.
No, he's gorgeous.
He's
and truly he always had.
perfect.
The shape of his face, the shape of the eyebrow.
Flawless skin.
Even at some point, he had this wild camera that would focus in.
Yeah, it was
pan
going
out.
in and out.
Yeah. And then we saw his pecs. He was shirtless, y'all, but in a marabou robe. And the pecs were just like glowing and almost like a god, a Greek god of some kind. I miss that energy. I miss the sort of the awareness, not only to the spiritual, but to the aesthetic, the witty that sometimes you can, and don't judge me, y'all, but sometimes you can only find it in a bigger city because of the rapid fire conversations that are constantly happening, that sort of quip, right?
Their creativity is
so
always on the
smart.
surface. It's always bubbling. It's always going. I look forward to these interviews because I feel like it zings my creativity back
Sparks.
up to the surface again. Yeah, it makes it
sparks
bubble.
of joy, sparks of creativity, and
Heaps
there's
of
nothing
joy.
wrong. I'm in a season of my life where it is about school events and VV events and landscaping and travel plans, and that's fine. That's great and beautiful. But yeah, humans like Nathan Lee that show up and are just like whoop. We all sort of
The second
we
he logged
sparkle.
on with
I
his
know.
feathers and his beautiful,
Yeah,
oh
I know.
God, you just want to sit next to him.
Yes.
You want to be invited to that inner sanctum.
Yeah,
If he
you
ever
do.
let me through that doorway, I'd be like, oh my God, I've made
I
it.
know.
I love the way that he protects his space and his home and his mind. Oh my gosh. Speaking of mind, I have to tell you something. I am listening to the most amazing, mind-blowing podcast ever.
What is it?
It's called the Telepathy Tapes. Have you ever heard of this?
No, but I'm gonna look at them
Okay.
right now. Is this on Spotify?
It's on wherever you get podcasts. She's a documentarian, and she started doing these podcasts about nonverbal autistic children.
I'm seeing it. Kai Dickens.
And they have discovered that they are telepathic. That she did all these tests where the kids were literally like doing like 5-digit numbers with their mothers, and their mothers were in a different room, and these kids would know what the mother was writing down. One of them, you can give him any book, bring any book, and he puts his hand on it and knows the information in the book.
I'm sorry. Come on.
Then they say, because some of what they're learning as they teach these kids to communicate through like iPads and stuff, because a lot of them don't have control over their physical body.
Yeah.
And the kids explain, like, we're like in a different sort of like our mental state is different. So we aren't even aware we have a body. So we'll look at our hands and they don't seem like our hands. And that's
Everything seems detached from their physical
That's why
being.
they can't speak very well. That's why they can't. So when they teach them how to communicate through the iPads and through the spelling charts, they learning that these kids can speak in different languages and they don't know how they've learned them, all of these things. So now they're saying that their spirits meet in a place at night when they're sleeping called the Hill. And the Hill is where these nonverbal autistic souls come to meet and exchange information. And that's how they learn languages. And that's why they're
on
like
a different plane of some kind.
Yeah.
Now,
and they're like geniuses.
Can these children with the iPad explain what that plane looks like, what that plane feels like?
They talk about it all in the thing. They even sometimes will allow verbal communicators to enter the space. And there's this one teacher who's been allowed to come in this space. And they're sort of describing it as like, when people pass, that they're still here. They're just in a different, like there's like a veil. This is very similar.
This is the veil.
And they're saying that it's like the next evolution of the human mind.
Wow.
It's so mind-blowing. You're just like, wait a second.
See, and isn't it interesting? Because you tell me things like this, I get chills.
Yeah.
I want to go to the plane that they're at. You start talking AI to me, and I turn off, and I get disgusted. And it's interesting.
It's not human and spiritual.
It doesn't feel human, right? At all. No.
These kids, it was shocking. And then she does like all these interviews with like animal communicators, and it's.
Well, do we need to have her on ours? Or is it like
I'm thinking of reaching out to her?
I would love to talk to her.
Pretty amazing.
Is she American or is she from a different country?
No, she's American.
She's American.
And she said she never expected to uncover the things that she uncovered. And she invited like the most skeptical people she could find. Like her cameraman was a guy who totally was a skeptic. He's like, I don't believe any of this crap. And by the end, he was like, I have no way to explain how that kid knew. So it was so fascinating. I absorbed the entire thing in like 2 days. I couldn't stop listening.
So there's a podcast and a documentary.
No, she's a documentarian, but this is her podcast. And she has season 2 coming out. I can't wait till it comes out.
I'll start it
I don't
today.
know. I can't even describe some of it. You're just like, come on. But you know what's really funny? When Seb was in 3rd grade and that school said, oh, we'd like to put him on drugs, for his dyslexia and his ADD and stuff. And I said to them, you guys, you really should adapt the way you teach instead of trying to put children on drugs. I understand if there was violence or this or that, but these are I said, I actually believe that all this ADD and dyslexia and all of it is like an evolution. And it's a brain that can do things that other brains can't do. And it's an evolution. It's where we're going next. So don't try to stop it. Try to support it.
Yeah.
And then all these years later to hear her say the exact same thing, like these children are saying, it's an evolution and you guys are drugging us. Anywho, it was mind-blowing.
I can't wait.
It's really
Well,
This was a joy.
Fun, deep exhale for sure. And the show is going to be a monster hit.
Oh, I can't wait.
There's really
Cannot
just
wait.
no way it can be, right? Anyway, I adore you so much. And,
Love you.
Till next time. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Stages podcast is produced by Mary Lee Fairbanks and Stephanie J. Block. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Join us on social media pages or sign up for the mailing list at stagespodcast.net. That is also where you will find Stages swag. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share and rate and review the show. It really helps us grow. Big thank you to Noah Kaiserman and Garrett Healy for the original music, and Allison Arns, who has been with us since day one. See you soon.